Monday morning, everyone, and welcome to Perspectives. It is a brand new day, a brand new month, everything new about this wonderful day. Trust you're waking up on this beautiful rock, this paradise called Grenada, inching up to her 47th birthday this month. So that's next Sunday. She'll be 47. And that'll be the thrust of our conversation this morning with our guest. But before we get there, must say good morning to our special talk panel here, Senator Christopher Deali and Mr. Byron Campbell. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Brenda.
Morning, Brenda.
Good morning to all your viewers and listeners. I see we're in a brand new city.
Yes, I tell you.
Everything new. Month new.
Everything new.
Brand
The
new
month new, the set new,
right,
everything's
good,
new.
Good.
And the question is, why not, you know? But, you know, what amazes me, colleagues, is there, and listeners, good morning all. It's 1st of February, as you said. Can't imagine how fast the year is going.
Yeah.
That means I'm aging very quickly. I mean, the time is moving fast, you know? Incredible. But I think, you know, the weekend, I think the death of the child, you know, that died.
The hammock.
The hammock. This is a tragedy, man. This is... Oops, you know, it hurts, and I feel for the family and the young one that was present, and the school, the friends. That's, you know, it's a tragedy. And just last week we lost a farmer, you know, that was accidentally again such a tragedy we're having, you know. So that kind of whoops, you know, it means that we have to be so careful, you know. So that for me is like, you know, how do we avoid these accidents?
Regarding the farmer, I saw Ken Whiteman.
Martin.
Yes, he giving an account of it in the news, and he was basically kind of surmising what he saw and what he thought happened. And just listening to him, it became so visual for me, because I'm a visual person, that I'm looking at the news and I'm going like this. You know, just actually, So it really, that's
the feedback. I was getting the feedback from my wife. You see, I tell you, you have to be careful. Don't go with sawn cut by yourself. You know, make sure. I was getting a scolding as a result of this. To be careful, you know.
Rightly so. Yeah. So that was tough. And then, well, we had Senate last week. Our dear panelist here, Senator Christopher Deali. I really would like to applaud you for your continued advocacy that young people be able to earn shares in Grenlec. I would like to applaud you for that.
Thank you, Brenda. It seems as though it's causing some sort of discussion, I would like to see. I hope in a positive sense.
Like
I have been following.
discussion?
I have been following all of it. I suppose Byron will get more on that. But yeah,
I mean, the only thing that should happen is that we should be showing them a door that they enter, that the state can assist them with getting the shares. But what's happening, Mr. Campbell?
Well, I mean, and you know, that idea of the blocker shares for young people within a certain age came from a young person themselves. So a young man called me one day and he said, Daddy, we need to have a chat about this. I mean, our young people are normally not really given anything or chosen as a sector for any sort of special consideration.
Right.
And I thought the idea was really, you know, new and novel, and that it is something that we should pursue. And I think, you know, normally when you're a young man and you're just young man or woman just start to work, your priorities are a little different in that you tend to want to buy the material things, a vehicle, your clothes, your this, your that. And it gives them an opportunity to think a little differently. And to think about, because investing in shares is a future investment. And it speaks to, you know, doing something that you could put aside and hopefully get dividends, you recover the investment down the road, you know, but you don't have to be buying 1,000 shares.
But it's pride
you could
and
buy 5
patrimony.
shares based on what the price is. You could buy 10 shares. You know, you don't have to be 1,000. So
I think.
And I hear people talking about the money aspect and where they get it. I mean, young people spend hundreds of dollars betting anyway.
Well,
I think. Look, I heard the comment, and wow, you know, but the feedback, some of the feedback on social media had to be, well, where are young people? What is the senator talking about? Where are young people going to get money from? We are all unemployed.
What was the discussion though?
That is not so. The question of allocation of shares for young people. Point here is that understand we have high unemployment among young persons, 35%, 40%. Whatever those numbers. The fact is, however, that significant young persons are employed. a lot. And if you check the financial institution, you see the greatest growth in terms of their own lending. It's the young people. So there's a cash flow among young people. A lot of them are working. So there's nothing wrong with beginning to introduce the question of investment in something that is important as energy for a nation. So I applaud the senator on the recommendation and appeal to young persons that once that opportunity comes, look at it, certainly. And related to the whole question of energy, we had consultation by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission on the question of legislation and investment. How's that going to be regulated? So I think, and a number of documents was put forward. So I think it's an important step in that whole divestment climate going forward, Senator.
I also think it's a bit of another way, I would look at it, is it's a bit of pride and patrimony, for young people to earn a stake in the national energy service. We don't know what's going to happen down the road. We're going into renewables. Lots of things are happening, and they're the ones that are going to be the future in terms of direction and leadership of this country. So to get a stake in the national energy company now, I think it's strategy. It's proper strategy in terms of the way forward. As I said earlier, what I would like to see happen is some sort of state mechanism that makes access to funding for those shares easy. Because as we know, if you survey 10 young people now, 9 of them may tell you they were just blatantly looked in the face at a bank or another financial institution and said no.
And let me just tell you, most financial institutions will finance things like that.
Right.
Right? Because the security becomes the shares itself.
Right.
So it is, and in a company with the history that GrenLec has, the shares is always something that is a good buy. It's not like we have a stock exchange and values fluctuate one day from the other based on other people's opinion of the shares and so on. So I thought the discussion might have been why 18 to 25 and get criticisms why I chose that age. Of course, 18 is adults could vote, so that's why I started at 18.
Maybe some people fall out of the age bracket. That's what it is.
So I thought a lot of discussions probably might have been around that, not the fact that young people are so unemployed and they're so destitute and so on and so forth. But destitute, I just think that it is, as you say, Brenda, this change in the whole regulatory environment of GrenLec and the shares and the ownership and so on, I think provides a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement for our young people in renewables. There's so many things that could happen in renewables. And so many downstream industries as well that could form as a result of renewables. Whether we go PVC, we go wind, or we go whatever we choose. There's so many investments and business that could come up as a result of this thing. And I think they need to be excited, either through ownership, through shares, equity, or possible businesses down the road. So,
to be quite honest with you, I think when the shares are put on the market and people start acquiring, the conversation would change and we would turn the corner. At the moment, we are still stuck in why we did it, why, there's a fair assessment as well that needs to be made that we had this organization run so efficiently for the last how many years. So there's also a little fear of change in there as well. But I think as long as the shares start to become available and people can invest, we would start turning the corner on the conversation. And when we see companies like a lot of green companies start coming up and doing renewables, and we start seeing faces we know and things that start happening, I think
Byron might interact with young people better than me on a business, but I think our young people are extremely creative. And they come up with things that sometimes those of us who have been around too long can't really see and understand. And their use of technology is far exceeds where we could ever think in terms of their ability to navigate the different technology.
They don't just use technology; they innovate.
That's right.
They make apps. They do
exactly. And I can understand why we want to hold back our young people and give them an opportunity to explore.
Grenada is a young country, so
from where I stand, I'm just excited about the possibility in terms of the work we're doing, but it's not all doom and gloom. I just want to say that.
And
there's excellent happening. But I want to raise a point, Brenda, that bothered me over the weekend. I mean, it affects us, but not limited to us. Is what I would refer to as vaccine monopolies. There's a lot of buzz on this these days. And I say this in terms of what is happening, how these vaccines are rolled out and the competition and who's hoarding and who's buying and COVAX, which is the organization that's been set up to purchase in bulk and to ensure equity in the market and distribution. And, you know, so far is the rich countries that are buying most of the vaccines, over purchasing, in fact. We have to hope that they will supply the poor world with some of the surplus or excess. It should not be that way. And I mean, you're talking about 34 million vaccines already produced, most of it distributed, and only about, in terms of, we look at the whole continent of Africa, for example, or South America, 15, you know, Pakistan with 216 million people, none has reached Pakistan yet, you know. So this is something that needs to be addressed. The positive news in there is that the new U.S. administration has agreed to, has pledged actually $4 billion towards COVAX, you know, and have joined. The fact that they rejoined the WTO, or at least start the process for that, is a good thing. Because we have to keep in mind that we will only move to, right now we're in a bubble, yeah? So we can't talk about recovery. Recovery will only come when there is a vaccine and people can move, people can travel, borders could become a bit more open, and vaccine it's not the ultimate, so in other words, not by itself, but certainly it's going to be the critical factor in terms of how we recover. So
True.
I want to hear more discussion on this distribution and availability, particularly to the most vulnerable, the frontline workers and so forth, and the elderly, you know. That the way it is going now, it's totally unfair. I mean, globally.
There's another side to this as well, that we are only hearing about Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and all these companies. Yeah. And we're hearing about our side of the world. Yeah. That's what's been recommended by, you know, within the COVAX. Yeah. However, in a global sense, India has produced a vaccine. Yeah. Actually, scientists are saying, they pulled some scientists in Europe, and they are saying that the vaccine from India, you don't have to vaccinate twice. And all this freezing and all of that, it's not happening. They said in terms of efficacy, that's the best one they've seen so far. China has a vaccine. Cuba has a vaccine. Right? You worry about Pakistan, once Modi and so sort of their political business over there, they're going to get their vaccine from India. But it has become a conversation where we see the big mouths or the monopolies of the free world. They are pushing the Pfizer and AstraZeneca on us, and we're not hearing. It's like if there are no other vaccines, nobody else is doing anything. That's not true. Well, and Cuba and China have been at it for a while, and so also India, but we're not hearing anything about that.
Well, you know, Brenda, unfortunately, the pandemic is also a business as well.
It seems so.
Don't
and so we have to break those molds. Yeah, and that's why last week it was so impressive to see that. I mean, yes, Barbados is in some trouble now, but they're working on their issues. That the Prime Minister of Barbados was able to reveal a letter that she wrote to the Prime Minister of India asking for this assistance, because she's not going to wait on the COVAX.
And I want to just say to our leaders in the region that, you know, when you hear about the war that's going on between Europe and England with vaccines and so on, and what is going on with these superpowers in terms of their spend power, I think those of us who are termed third world should look to countries like India and Cuba and so on, because they seem to, quite frankly, if I'm asked to take a vaccine, I will opt for the Cuban one before AstraZeneca and all those others.
We know the research that went in there.
Yeah, and they seem to have single shot vaccines. They seem to have those that don't need excessive temperatures for storage.
Correct.
Look, right now, if you have money, you can spend $25,000 US, and the plane will pick you up in Europe, wherever, bring you to one of the Middle Eastern country. You will get your vaccine, come back 2 weeks. They will fly you and accommodate you and provide your vaccine for $35,000 US. So if you have money, you can get it immediately.
Yeah, and I just think that we need the conversation to change a little bit.
It must change.
And yes, COVAX seem to be in jeopardy now because of what is happening. So I mean, I saw Jamaica announce that their first million shots will come in quite in March.
Yeah.
Right? And when
Yeah.
you hear Jamaica, who is a bigger CARICOM country than some of us in the OECS, you know ours ain't coming until sometime after.
Yeah.
For
The
our
Prime
frontline
Minister did
workers.
say March was when we interviewed the Prime Minister, he did say
Yeah.
they're looking
Yeah.
towards the end of March, but that's within the
Yeah.
COVAX.
Right.
You had
and
it-
so
Yeah.
the idea becomes, I mean,
That's why it's critical. What are we going to do for ourselves independently?
I think I heard Minister Steele say that now they're looking outside of just COVAX
Yeah,
and
we
having
must. We must.
negotiations,
Yeah.
bilaterals with
We
some
must.
countries.
Yeah.
And I, quite frankly, I think we should really look at
Bilaterals
this
is the
Cuba
way
thing
to
for the
go.
Caribbean and the
Yeah.
OCS
Yeah.
because you can't, there's no way to say this. The Cubans are well advanced on the medical side of
Absolutely.
business.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a
They
fact.
have therapeutics that the other world didn't know about and what.
true.
I mean, they have a nasal spray. They have a lot of things going on in the Cuban
Yeah, yeah.
thing with the
I think what should
COVAX.
guide the distribution is the fact that understanding what the virus is. It's everywhere. You can't see it. In other words, if I have it, you're not safe. You know.
No, exactly.
It is so interconnected. So that the only way to reasonably and to correctly deal with this is on a global basis. You know. Otherwise, to do it piece and everybody pull in their resources, it's anarchy. It's chaos.
And if
You know?
the African continent and the Middle East, and not the
Yeah.
Middle East, but the Asian continent doesn't
Yeah.
get this vaccine at the rate that they need
Yeah.
to, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, a lot of
falls
countries are in
apart.
crisis now.
Yeah,
Very,
falls
very
apart.
deep crisis.
When we
you
look
know?
at what's
Yeah.
happening in Brazil, which is very much close to us, and
Sure.
what is happening there with the mortality rate in Brazil, it's
But it is now emerging that they have underreported their deaths.
yeah, and
Yeah.
because they have a very unusual strain.
Because Bolsonaro
apparently.
was
Yeah.
carrying on like
Yeah,
So, I
like
mean,
DJ Trump.
yeah.
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 So
yeah.
it's,
it's sad.
And you know, I just want to say too, and as we end this COVID discussion, that Grenada still, we have no new cases.
Yeah, I saw the flash last night.
Right, I just saw the flash coming up. No new cases, and we're doing so well. We only have 5 active cases based on the flash, and all of them were imported. So you know, and only
Actually,
5
not
persons
the
in isolation. So I think we are doing.
So what next? We go back to
exceptionally well.
normal?
No, we still remain under curfew
I
because
know you don't
only
like-
That's the question I asked.
No, it's me trying to throw that
That's the
for
question I ask, you know?
you know my anxiety. No, we don't go back to normal
What-
because yesterday, Sunday the 31st of January, for that one day, St. Vincent reported 216 cases of
New
COVID.
cases?
Yes.
Wow.
St. Lucia 51 or something like that.
Yeah.
just
So
57,
as long as St. Vincent, which
Continues to
is
spike. It
is
spikes.
And that's
our
what's
neighbor.
tested, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's in addition to what's already happening,
Yeah.
right? Right. And there's still no mandatory nothing about nothing there, right?
Yeah.
So I think as long as that continues to happen, we will see. We have to, it's a real dicey time. We see Canada shutting its borders. So we just have to kind of sit still for a bit and continue to, I guess, maintain the status quo or protect the status quo, so to speak. I really don't think any kind of major, removal of the curfew or anything at this time is a good idea.
In fact, it's to maintain the vigilance and to
We must.
yeah.
We must.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens by mid-Feb.
Yeah.
But we should. Yeah. We should. That was enough to scare me.
Yeah.
But when we
As
go
much
back,
as I want
go back
to
into
free
our
up-
discussion,
Yeah.
I'll ask Byron about the weather and the dust. And how
Yeah,
they treated it.
the Sahara dust, man. But you know, there's a positive thing about the dust. yeah?
Always.
From a farming point of view.
Well, the
a lot of
hurricanes too.
nutrients.
Well, is
fall-
it just or is it
Yeah.
volcanic stuff from?
No. In fact, that question was raised. No, not volcanic stuff. This is our friends. This is coming all the way from Africa,
Right.
across
right.
the Atlantic Ocean,
Right.
and it's good. In fact, the Amazon and most rainforests depend on this level
Not
of
good for
nutrients.
people like me
Certainly.
that suffer sinuses.
No, that's the
an
adverse part.
I thought
And
you
it's
said-
really key. I mean, look at last year when we had such an active hurricane
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
But the Sahara dust, the plumes, it was so thick.
Yeah.
Remember around
Yeah.
April,
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
And so, but it kept the hurricanes at bay.
Yes.
So that's one of the pluses of
So
the
if you're
dust.
asthmatic on other sinuses, it's not good.
It's difficult, but and the wind is exceptionally high. The seas are rough.
Yeah, the seas are rough. That's a good thing. Well,
he likes rough
for the
seas.
fishermen.
it depends on how you see it.
Yeah.
The youths.
But I see water coming up in the road, and so I saw someone posted. Mikey posted. Mikey Hutchinson. He posted a picture of behind the Esplanade Mall.
Oh yeah, the water was inundating.
Yeah.
Which is something.
And on Grand Anse Beach,
something normal.
it's
That
all the
always
way up.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of redistribution of sand on beaches, which is an important natural process too.
Yeah, that's
always look at the upside of it.
No, that's a good thing.
And you guys welcomed the new senator in the Senate. Saw a bit of that last week.
Yes, we welcomed the new senator. He came in apparently with a lot of gusto, and he seems to. I don't know if he's adjusting pretty quickly. I hope he is adjusting pretty quickly. I wasn't there for the entire session because I had to leave on some other business. But he has come in and seems to be a lot of fire in the belly.
Okay.
Well, I hope you guide him. Use your
Yes,
experience there to orientate him.
Well, yes, I am always happy to do that, and I've done that with the newer senators. But you have to be willing to want to get guidance.
Yeah.
Wish him well. Wish him well.
Of course, we have to.
It's an important state
Just
organ.
that and we continue to maintain the level, the decorum that the Senate is known for. I trust that happens. And as I was saying to you guys off camera, is that the wealth of knowledge and about these practices and protocols between the Speaker of the House, Mr. Pear, and the President of the Senate, Senator Humphrey, I think it will bode well to do a lot of, coaching. That's the kind of thing Sir Curtis Strachan used to do. It's very, very well known for. So it helps. It helps. It really helps.
I mean,
it really helps.
The Senate and the experience in the Senate is something that is unmatched in the sense that as a person who is willing to serve your country is probably one of the highest
chamber of the country
that you could choose to serve.
The highest chamber of the land.
And over the years, since I've been there, actually I'm coming up on 15 years, which I thought this was amazing.
Already?
It's a long time already, yeah. And the quality, I believe, of the debate continues to be at a level there that
rich.
Speaks to the type of host that we maintain. And not only that, when you have a situation in Grenada where there was no opposition, and the debate seems to be more balanced there than when you're in the house of in the other house. So it's important that you keep a certain standard and a certain decorum. And there will be the politics, but the real thing is the substance of the debate that the people must understand and hear.
And why you're there. Why you're there.
And give the average Grenadian an understanding of all sides of the discussion so that they're well informed and they can make a decision of their own as well. So
absolutely.
I am hopeful that we continue in that light.
Me too. And talking about hope, well, a birthday party is coming up, and the person planning all the activities for that party is here with us. We take a quick break. When we come back, we talk independence.
Calypso fans, the 9 finalists to challenge the reigning independence Calypso monarch Sean Nas, the Sour Serpent, on Friday, February 5th at the National Stadium have been selected. Admission is free from the comfort of your homes. Will Sour Serpents hold on to the reign, or will the crown change heads as Sheldon Douglas, Anthony Darius, Croqueta, Jermaine Simon, Teddy Christopher, Philanda Jeffrey, Alicia Alexis, Edison Francis, and Anthony Etienne all vie for the coveted crown. Time alone will tell, so join the National Celebrations Committee in what promises to be an evening of great calypsos. Carried live on GIS Channel 22, the National Celebrations Committee, and GIS Facebook pages and YouTube channels. Remember the date, Friday, February 5th, 6 p.m. The virtual staging of the 2021 Independence Calypso Mona, building together a safer, more resilient nation in these challenging times.
bless us all.
Are you gonna wear your mask today? You see everywhere you go, there are rules you got to follow, so don't you say COVID-19 will delay. Take the opportunity to save your community. Don't be that guy, put a mask on your face if you're heading outside. It's your life, my life, more lives will be taken if we don't try. If you feel any symptoms, call the hotline. Stay inside until you feel fine. 6 feet away every day. Keep COVID-19 far from away. Keep Grenada safe. Be COVID-19 smart.
Welcome back to Perspectives on this Monday morning, the first day of February, the month in which Grenada celebrates her birthday. So here we are, and of course we welcome all of you joining us. It's Monday morning, no, it's a busy time. If you're moving, please move with us. We are on air on MTV and of course online on the Facebook platforms of Perspective, A Party Grenada, TNR Communications, Mikey Live, and Sister Isle in Carriacou, also on our own Perspectives page. Our special guest panelist this morning is Mr. John Williams. Of course, Mr. Williams is known for service in every single way. He's done so many in community service, in Rotary, in the police, and he is now serving in his capacity as the chairman of the National Celebrations Committee. So we say good morning to Rotarian John Williams. Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda, and good morning to your panelists. I really enjoyed that little chit-chat earlier on. It was really allowed me to relax. And good morning to your viewers and your listeners and everyone else on all of these social platforms and on TV.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. A bit early for me, but I'm glad to be here because we are talking independence. So thanks again for the invitation for me to come and speak to your listeners and viewers about our special celebration.
Right. It is indeed going to be a special celebration, and you're going to, of course, inform us as to how we are celebrating as opposed to the other years. But before we get in, I know every Independence we celebrate under a theme. So can you share with us what that is?
Okay, yes, I'm happy to. I'm sure you will have heard it, but this year was very different because of the pandemic and the prevailing circumstances. So as a committee, we sat down and we said we need to have a theme that's really appropriate, that's something that's relevant, that has meaning, and not just there for the purposes of the celebration. So after some brainstorming and to and fro and changing words and phrases and adjectives and nouns and everything else, we came up with a theme which I'm very, very pleased with. So I'll just, for the benefit of yourself and your viewers, I'll remind them of what the theme is. For this year's anniversary of independence, the theme is rebuilding together a safer, more resilient nation in these challenging times. So we look at the aspect of safety, paramount. We look at the aspect of being a resilient nation. We've gone through all the challenges and struggles. And when you think about we've come through, we've seen by the rest of the world or the region as a model country when you look at Ivan and all of the things we've gone through. And then we recognize these are challenging times. Whether we like it or not, they are there. Your discussion earlier on sort of brought so many things to mind about what is happening, not just here in this country, but the region, our immediate neighbors, and the wider world. Yeah. And when we take into consideration what's happening now there, then we know without a doubt these are challenging times. Today you could be A-OK, as we made mention to some of the other, our sister countries, and tomorrow it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
So the theme is speaking about safety. Well, rebuilding together for a start. We have to do this together. If we do it alone, we won't succeed. We have to do it together. The emphasis is on safety, to be safe. So whatever we're doing, whether it's a church service, a calypso show, whatever activity, there has to be some safety measure there. Challenging nation, and hence the reason I think the theme for this year is most appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, we're very happy about it. The committee looked at it, and I'm sure government and everyone is very pleased that we have such a theme.
Okay.
So that's how we came about.
Yeah, well, to John, I think the issue here is first. For me, independence is one of those things where I don't see political divide and color. Well, it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. You know, the tribalism will exist in some people's minds, but I think independence offers an opportunity for Grenadian people to rally around something that is wholly national, whether it's the oil or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
With all the colors in it.
No, I agree.
And
I think there's merit
my
in that.
thing is, I always try to reflect on independence from the standpoint of when we celebrate as a people, I think the question needs to be asked, what can we do for our country?
Yeah.
Not what the country can do for us.
Of course, yes, exactly.
Because independence is about us and what we have achieved over 47 years, and what more can we do to see that this country of ours that we love so dearly, we call it Greens, we call it 473, we have all these little acronyms that, you know, speaks about our national pride and what we have done and where we are. So, and I hear your theme, and I'm wondering if from that point of view, you know, the theme could encourage our people to rally around this country of ours.
Yeah. I agree with you. What you just said has merit. Now, one of the things I've discovered, as you rightly alluded to the fact that independence should be a national event. There is a committee, National Celebrations Committee. Yes, we are responsible for spearheading activities and events, but the collaboration should be with the communities.
Right.
And I'll speak to a couple that encourage me a lot. This year, you know, we do a lot of you will have seen the buntings and the decorations in all of the villages and the main towns, St. George's, Taylors, Grenville. And one of the things I've noticed that some of the activities were done not by the celebrations committee. I've been getting kudos for things I haven't done, so I thank you for that. But I've been saying to them, I wouldn't call their names, but a lot of the business houses and commercial industries have participated in decorating areas.
And lighting up.
And they said this is just the beginning, because we are moving towards the 5th year. And I've spoken to quite a number of groups within the various parishes and constituency. And I said, yes, whilst National Celebrations Committee has a responsibility for coordinating, but everything, as you've said, should come from the parishes.
Correct.
So in other words, we should have activities that speak, so this is what's happening in St. David's, this is what's happening in St. Patrick's. So we can collaborate with groups and organizations so that it makes the whole celebration a very nationalistic approach.
Right.
So committee, we can coexist, we can collaborate, we can say, yes, that's a good idea, use our branding, we'll give you whatever we need to give you, and at the end of the day, it becomes, as you rightly said, that's what it should be. Now we move into the 5th year. We're all very excited. I know it's about 3 years away, but what I really would like to see between now and as we move forward to the 5th year, the collaboration becomes noticeable. We're planning to kick off immediately following Carnival, if there is a Carnival.
You mean the carnival dates?
The carnival dates, yes. Or should I say August, just after August.
You say that instead.
We don't know. That's why I'm saying we're in challenging times. Right now, and before I speak to
managing my expectations.
Yes, so we have countries around us who a couple of months ago or a month ago was not even talking COVID.
True.
COVID was just out there, you know?
Yeah.
And I always remember what the governor of New York City said, Andrew Cuomo. Remember when New York was the epicenter?
Yes.
And he was saying to the other states, look out, it's coming.
Correct.
And some of the governors out there were very reluctant. No, there were people demonstrating, we don't want to wear masks, you can tell us. It's about constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And you see what's happened? So where we are fortunate, and we spoke about it earlier on. I'm very concerned. That's why the Celebrations Committee consciously said, listen, let us prevent and avoid any gathering. And you saw it in the ecumenical service. It used to be under one heading, so we encourage churches to celebrate within their own worship space to avoid the numbers. We have our Independence Calypso show, which we'll be speaking about. We have our cultural extravaganza, or we have the parade. Now, it's easy to say, okay, let's meet together, let's keep our social distance, let's wear a mask. It's easy to say that, but you just don't know, because all you need is just one case. So we have to be so responsible and cautious, because we don't know what's not happening here. We don't know what's happening next month. So there's a lot of emphasis on let us be responsible, let us be cautious, let us say it doesn't exist, because this thing out there is huge, and it seems to be growing with all these additional variants, more dangerous, more contagious. So I applaud the government and what is happening now, and I see a lot of us wearing our masks, and I would encourage it. And I'm saying to them, even though we don't have gathering, we miss the public's presence at all of these shows. But let's be very cautious. Let's do what we have to do now to avoid anything. Prevention is always better than cure. So going back to what I was saying about the shows and other things, we are encouraging the public to be part of us. So come next year, and as we move to the 50th, there'll be a lot more collaboration. So we're going to go on TV and have a quiz. We're going to have, I was speaking to one of the young ladies who involved, I think Marlene Neptune, calling it. And she has such good ideas in terms of reminding us. I saw some videos of the good old days. Remember the folk groups?
Right,
Christmas
right.
oldies.
Yeah.
The older years. So, and it was so lovely. You can have some of these programs
Yeah.
where you can get members of the public to phone in and talk about it. Yes, I remember this. And let's start moving. So
But these are the things that make us who we are. And it speaks to our identity, and so
Exactly.
these things need
That's
to be, reinstilled in our minds.
to be
Yeah.
reinforced. So we're hoping that come between now, we're 47, come 50, we're going to have a huge plot. We're going to have people come from everywhere, and hopefully, if the pandemic is still around, then all of us have a problem.
But let's
I
deal with
doubt
it now, because you see how COVID is. Let's
Yes,
just deal with it now.
So
We
I'm
don't know
saying-
what would happen down the road.
Exactly. And so we have all of that planned for us in answer to Senator's question. Yes, we're going to make it very national. Let's remind persons, come on board, let's just make it a thing and not just a celebrations committee.
I agree with Senator Diallo here in that this must be shouldn't be bipartisan. You know,
shouldn't.
everybody should be involved. But in terms of target, I mean, it's a moment it's a time, a period of reflection, where we are as a nation, how we are doing. That reflection is important as we look at the future and we plan for the future. But a big part of it is young people. You know, how you begin to have them understand what's independence about and the importance of it and what's involved. What in your current program is directed to the involvement and participation of the youth, given the pandemic and given where schools are presently, other than just the color day, for example? What kind of participation?
Again, this pandemic has created a lot of difficulties, and there was a level of consciousness. We know what the situation with the ministry right now of education with the school. So we were, in previous years, we would have competitions, we would have things, little parade, the miniature parade at the various schools, organizations would take part in that. And that was always welcome, and it allowed for the schools to feel that they're actually contributing. But in fairness, for this year, because of the situation, we deliberately and consciously said, let's just try to avoid any activities or encourage any activities that would involve gathering.
Okay.
Our interministerial competition is usually on a competitive basis. This year we say no competition. We allow for them to have their own display, do everything, because that would prevent the gathering.
Right.
We don't have any oil competition. The beautification that is being conducted now around the whole island, there is no competitiveness because we always have a beautification competition because these things encourage gathering. And whilst I said earlier on, it is good to have participation, but for this year, there is this level of consciousness of introducing a lot of preventative measures. Let us go with the health expert. Let us listen to them. They said 20, no more than 20. They said, let us just join in with them. And next year, we could encourage it. But I know.
So I'm home with my family. What are the wow events? What are the big events that we should sit at home?
The wow
how
events.
Can we pass
okay,
yeah,
wow
let's hear
events.
about those,
Independence Calypso competition starts on Friday.
Virtual platform.
Virtual platform. So you have
time
an opportunity.
and where?
Time 6 o'clock. We will. All right. It starts at 6. We're going to send out on the Facebook pages the link and everything for that. We were meant to start at 7, but because of the curfew, we have to make sure that everything is done so people can get home in time.
Right. So the performers come to the venue, which is a national stadium.
Right.
Right, and they perform, and it's streamed virtually.
And it's streamed live, right.
Okay,
TV
wonderful.
and
that's
on
6 on Friday. So we
6
sit down home Friday night,
Friday,
and we
and
inside
everything.
the Calypso competition.
Yeah, and you're there. And
Nice.
you do the same thing for the cultural extravaganza.
You have judging
on
in the
Friday.
Calypso?
Everything
Yes,
is
yes.
Everything is there.
as is. It's
As is,
everything as
as
is.
is,
The
as
only
is.
thing that's missing
It's the
is an
crowd.
audience.
Yeah.
It's virtual.
Judges, and it's virtual.
What are the elements of the cultural extravaganza?
Yeah.
Well, we try to introduce as many elements as possible. We have drummers, we have poetry, we have band,
Okay.
we have an element of, well, say band drumming, we have the
Dancing.
string band from Carriacou.
Oh,
We wanted to
nice.
have a
Nice.
representation from the whole parish. So all of the parishes will be represented.
Nice.
Will be represented. So it's going to be a wonderful, I've seen the program. It's really going to be an extravaganza with a
Nice.
difference.
Nice.
And the production team, I'm aware they've been working,
And it's
assiduously
going to happen
together.
at the stadium.
And it's going to
as
happen at
well.
the stadium.
Right.
Everything's going to be at the stadium. Even the parade. Parade now is going to be virtual. The police have been working very hard. We have rehearsals. They had rehearsals last Friday. There's going to be one tomorrow. There's going to be a dress rehearsal on Friday. So it's going to be as is. Now the actual formation or the size of the platoon is going to be less, or the
Right.
parade, because of again
Naturally.
But what there are 5 platoons, including Her Majesty's Prison. The actual presentation would be as on the day. It's just it would be smaller. The police band, they're rehearsing to put on a little display. Her Excellency will be there to inspect the front
Right,
ranks.
right.
Prime Minister will be doing his address
National
to the
address,
nation.
yeah.
We'll have rededication. Everything would be as is. The only thing that would be missing would be the presence of an audience.
Right.
And as I said, I'm happy with
The
the
audience
team.
will be virtual.
Everything would be virtual.
good.
So we're going to learn what virtual
Good.
virtual platform
What time
is.
does Saturday start?
The Saturday is again, we're looking at 6 o'clock
Okay.
because of the consciousness of the curfew. We don't want to be rushing the shows and everything for people to get away. So it's 6 o'clock on Friday, 6 o'clock on Saturday, and on 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, the parade starts. There will be preambles before, so we're encouraging the public to join in. We'll be sending out the production team has that, and I think it's ready for distribution now, so people will get an idea of the link. Normally for Zoom, you normally get a day before, but this time we want to give it at least a week before, so people can prepare themselves to sort themselves out to be there. But the actual parade itself will be at 10 o'clock. The Prime Minister, Her Excellency will arrive at 10. So you have the arrival of Commissioner, arrival of Prime Minister, and then kick off the parade at the actual side at 10 o'clock. And it's a well planned. I've seen, listened to the production team.
I mean, the parade. I mean, normally the public comes out on the road. Can they still do this?
On the road?
Well, the public comes on the street to view the parade. They're not coming in the stadium. I mean,
No, we're
this-
not. We try to discourage all gatherings.
and they're just
and
coming
if you
from
want-
Melville Street
if you want
to the
one-
This needs to be
stadium. So-
clear.
Yeah, if you want,
Yeah.
we don't want to say one group or the people from River Road can come, because the people from Mongay, the
Nobody
people from
could come.
Rush,
Yeah.
and
So
before you
stay
know
home.
it, stay home.
Stay home.
Watch the
Okay.
parade, be safe.
Yeah.
Abide by the rulings of the medical experts.
Okay.
And let's just, for this year, let's just enjoy the shows, enjoy the parade, enjoy the independence,
Yeah.
look and enjoy all of the trimmings we have out there, and so forth and so forth.
What's going to happen on Carriacou Petit Martinique, though? I know traditionally Her Excellency, she would go up and so on, and they would have their day of
At Petit
celebration.
Martin. None of that this year.
Right,
No,
they're just
no.
going to be.
They're just going to
Okay.
be. They're going to be observing our parade. We've had to cancel some of the sporting activities.
Right.
But the usual rally, inspection and rally by Her Excellency, that's out, and they've had this quiz for this year. They've had their secondary school,
yeah.
independent schools. Then also they've get involved in the church services. We've been talking, and taking part in the activities because we have representation from them. So, you know,
the Carriacou relay, I saw it on your program, the road relay and the Independence Women's Football, all of that was cancelled.
Yes, even ours, all our sporting activities had to be cancelled.
There's an economic...
And then even with the conversation about the parade, traditionally they would march from Melville Street and they'll come up.
That's right.
But now they do it just from
Just
the Wesley
from
College grounds.
Okay,
So just from Wesley College into to just make everything tight and safer.
Parade with a difference. Unfortunately,
everything is different. So they mean they're just walking across and step inside on the parade ground.
He's so anxious to have the audience there. Give him his way. He'll have everyone there, just separated.
Look, there's also an economic aspect to the independence thing, yeah?
There is.
Because a lot of local seamstresses and other people prepare, the clothes part of it in particular, for the National Colors Day. You can see on the streets because most of the schools, all the children are in colors. I mean, what is likely to be an economic impact on that? Because clearly, if schools are not open and don't have national colors there, there's less purchases.
There is national colors day.
But I mean, the whole idea of dressing up and going out on the streets,
that's still there. That's
and the
still
students
there.
parading and so on, that's not going to happen.
As far as, you see, National Celebrations Committee would give information about these things. We don't say what should happen. We don't dictate to the schools or the groups. But I know on the day, the members of the public will be dressed into their national colors. And I think it will be as good as.
To be honest, I mean, if you, Mr. Campbell, if you check online, the amount of folks that are doing like T-shirts
it's a
business.
It's a business.
As well as like a hustle.
Yeah, that's not going to stop
people.
them now. But I think we need to just remind persons, we expect that. Even from next year, we want to make sure, remember years ago we have the vehicles all colorful and the flags. We're hoping to reintroduce that again because that was unfortunate, and there was mention that the flag should not be draped on bonnets, and that's correct, But I think for next year we're going to look at ways and innovative ways that we can have maybe our colors tied onto wing mirrors and so forth. Because gone are the days, years ago, you recall, those of us who drive, remember there's always an aerial in some of these vehicles so you can tie your flag. You don't have these modern day vehicles now. Nothing. So you really have nowhere to put it. We have stickers that are out there, 40 independent stickers with a logo and theme. We have masks. Unfortunately, I left my mask. That one, we encourage persons to get some face masks with the national colors.
Nice.
Green, red, yellow. We have it as part of the committee, so with our logo. So you will be seeing it out there with members of the public or from the ministries. So as we move forward to the 50th, as I said, this is just a start. We hope that by 48, 49, and when you get a 50, all of these things would be so colorful. I was speaking to friends of mine in the UK. I'm trying to have a collaboration with the diaspora out there for a meeting with Her Excellency last week. And then I been speaking to Canada. So we want to establish or re-establish meetings, collaboration, liaison. So when we get closer, it wouldn't be just Grenada, it'll be all the areas where Grenadians are to be able to prepare and get ready for that. But for this year, yes, we are somewhat curtailed with it, with the pandemic. But
we did a question, John, to you about the diaspora and their form of celebration this year, because I know normally they're very much involved and they have different activities planned. Sometimes different ministers will fly up and do representations and so on for us and so on. So any of that happening at all in the diaspora in terms of what's happening in New York, in Canada, in England and so on?
It's lockdown. If you call Canada, I think they're starting a major lockdown on Tuesday.
I saw something online from Toronto yesterday. They had a special independence service.
The Quebec, but for, alluding to the question there, yes, I think they have in their own smaller scale because a lot of them also have the social distancing and the numbers. England, as you know, they are in a situation with their lockdown and they're not sure. The US, well, that speaks for itself. So a lot of the opportunities that would have been easy in the past where people would go up, that unfortunately, because if you go up there, it's going to be like a 10-day quarantine. When you get back, and have a 10-day quarantine.
Independence is over.
COVID has really reminded us the fragility of life, what we take for granted. Yes, the embracing and the cuddling, and we can't do it now. Your loved ones, people, your friends you haven't seen for a long time, you have to give them bounds and shoulders because COVID has said no. Keep away. So we hope him come next year, God's willing.
One of the things, Brenda, you would notice in terms of the spirit of celebration is, we always have liquor flags. The kids would have their liquor flags, as Byron was alluding to, when you meet and so on. So you tend to feel, these virtual events, I understand we need to have them, we can encourage, but you can't really jump up and celebrate with your flag virtually. You know what I mean? So it takes away from the spirit a little.
Listen, I don't want to give away. There's an opportunity this year where the production team is going to introduce. Where visual, the public, where you're going to see participation. You will be seeing people jumping up at the house.
You know, Bungee say this here, Bungee Garland, all houses road. Wherever you are, you jump. You're inside your back, all house. That's where the road is.
No, I mean,
in your house.
I've been driving around and watching the village guys. I mean, I passed through Marion yesterday. And those guys were working from morning to afternoon, late afternoon, making sure the place was nicely painted, decorated, and so on. So there is a certain amount of enthusiasm to get the village areas.
If you look around, you're starting to look
nicely set
and all
up.
the buildings with the lights, you go down Grandans, Netherlands, Nawassa.
So the new Nawassa building.
Yes.
It's pretty good. Another part of it, though, is that we have. Not sure what did National
Foodland too. Foodland have a nice.
We usually have our national dish oil on companies, staff get together. Sometimes they go
companies
to the beach.
Do that.
So you can still do that. But understand that. Understand any kind of gathering you're going to have in public. First, get the authorization on a note from the COVID team. So this is something to note.
Yeah, a lot is still happening. Whilst it's not within the public domain, but we're encouraging people to still take part. I'm not sure if it's pertinent to call names, but I was speaking to a member of the production team who's here, and he showed me that we will have, as you to allude to the audience participation. They have these technical terms. I'm not technically minded, so I haven't got a clue about this. So he's going to make sure that we introduce for these shows an opportunity to view public and for public to do whatever they do. So it's something that
we're looking forward to. You and the committee is, how do we intend to control or limit to some degree, the celebration on the beaches and so on? And how is the police going to?
That's what the police.
I mean, I know we have the 10 o'clock curfew, but some of us get carried away on our beaches. And we gather in amongst
I think the police
could be dangerous.
Look at that.
Right.
So,
I don't think it would be wise to close the beach. Let me just go on record as saying that.
No.
But because people already can't do, they can't come to the stadium. They would want to do some sort of thing where they get together, cook their oil down, whatever. So I'm sure we will have heavy presence on known spots.
There will be, but again, as you said. It's a police matter. Thank God, celebrations committee. Come the Monday, we finish with that. But
we want to spare you from any sort of licking too.
Well, and I'll still get it. That's why I didn't want anything to happen for them to say it's the chairman's fault if we didn't do this. So John Williams said, no, we're not going to let that happen. But interestingly, it's our culture, and as you look around, in fairness, I've seen funerals and I've seen activities that ought not to be with the numbers. It's really frightening still. But my concern, including the fact, whilst I want to be part of the whole celebratory mood and get out there, but I'm also very, very conscious. If to say this COVID were just in the States and not so much in the region, I might have been inclined to say, well, let's take a chance. But when it's so close and it's invisible, and we're all sitting here. There are 100,000 Grenadians. There are about 19,000 PCR. There are still 80,000 that have been tested. So we don't know. We're not trying to create doom and gloom. I'm being very optimistic. But the emphasis, I believe, for this year, for all of us in the world, we don't want to find ourselves like England, UK, and the rest of Europe. So let's be very cautious. Let's say, yes, we want to jump. Yes, we want to have party. Yes, we want to have fun.
We don't want independence to become a super spreader event.
No.
Anything in independence related to be a super spreader
that's going to kill it for all of us. So
I mean, the parallels between celebrating our independence and becoming a super spreader
It's not. It's a no-no. But we're doing well so far. We have
we
the
are.
activities,
Yeah.
and people not just here in Grenada, but we will be able to stream to the rest of the world. There are people all over. We'll be able to enjoy. It's as if all of you were in the States. Now, let's say
I
you were in the
think
States.
it's gonna
You would have
be-
seen it on TV in the States, not being here,
Yeah.
and you still would have been able to enjoy. So that's what we want people to.
It's probably
able
going to be
do.
one of the biggest
Viewing,
viewing
yes,
you've
of course
had
it would be.
of independence, maybe
Yes, it-
forever.
yes, it would be.
Because if we are at home looking on, people in the diaspora
Yeah.
looking on, so the numbers are going to be massive.
That's right. And
That's one of
people-
the things with these virtual things. People are
COVID.
not there, but you
about
have more
COVID.
eyeballs on the
Exactly.
event
And
than you would have
Yeah.
People will
normally
be so
had.
bored at home, they're going to want to have some form of
Correct.
entertainment.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Let me just
Correct.
also mention before we close the program, is on the 14th we have also Prime Minister's Luncheon for the elderly.
Right.
And you know it's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
We meet with them at the Trade Center. So this year we felt we ought not to miss, we could easily say let's cancel because elderly,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
know they are more susceptible than anyone
Correct.
else. But it's going to be done, it's on a, not a virtual basis. But, yeah.
You can't feed them
Feed them well,
virtually.
yeah, exactly.
Or he can't get
Look
to
at this.
interact with them.
So
regularly,
true.
yeah.
So we are arranging within the constituency and the parishes to have go out to the elderly. So they will have identified a number of persons who would normally come down, and they would go to them
They
with the
would-
meals, prepare the
okay.
meals, and present it to them. And I think that's nice, although
Yeah.
there is no
A
presence.
nice little card from the Prime Minister would be nice too.
Yes, that
just
was
a little-
considered, but
yeah.
it would have been a nice
Yeah.
thought to
Because
give them
if,
something.
normally he would be present with them.
course,
He
yes.
can't be there. So a nice little note
And you've
from
been
him
there a few times. You
would
see how
be
much
nice.
they love to interact, to have a dance
Yeah.
with the PM and
Yeah.
have a chat and a joke.
I
But,
always, I
but these
always
are things we.
think that one event in particular for independence is special. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because we tend to forget the people who have gone before us and the
Yeah.
generations who
That's
have
true.
paved the way for us
That's true.
in the celebrations and what we have and what we have been given to
Yesterday's
hopefully
children.
continue. Yeah,
That's true.
and we don't recognize that enough. So whenever I see the program, I always think that Prime Minister's luncheon for the elderly is such
Yeah.
an
That's
important
special,
event.
very
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
And something, and I mean, say what you want, our Prime Minister is always enthusiastic to do that. I think he understands and appreciates
Yes.
what it signals
Yeah.
and
If
what's the
you-
significance of
If
it.
you get
Correct.
a chance to attend, I've been fortunate as chairman to attend and as deputy to. It's unbelievable, you know, to see. Listen, I've seen some of the elderly take part in these. You know, we have music and dancing, and they all want to dance with PM.
Yes, yes.
And you would believe it. You'll see videos of 80 and 90-year-old people move in to some of the soca tunes and some of the. You wouldn't believe it. This is not.
Remember
This is
they
no
did all the old
exaggeration.
folk dancing and the Cassian and all these things. They
Listen,
know all these
it's
things.
just unnatural. When you see these individuals
Yeah.
having fun, it opens your eyes as someone who's, wow,
Yeah.
they've still got it in them. So this is very special, as you said.
Yeah,
this is
I
not
think it's
something
always
that
a very special event, but
think so.
in the whole program, I really
I
think that
think
that's a
so.
special
Yeah,
part.
have to be there to see
Well, we
that.
look forward to that. Seems as if all the major ones are planned to a T,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
the production elements will have to be special to captivate
Yes,
the
I think it
virtual
is.
audience.
I'm confident.
Yeah.
Come get me if it's not.
Because all of us stared at the virtual thing, but that's where it is.
That's where it is, unfortunately.
As Bungie Garland said again, we only confined in our minds.
Minds. Yes, to think of it otherwise, you know.
So we have to do that. But anything else, Rotarian John, that you thought you missed?
No, just say thanks for inviting me to speak of our independence. I'm encouraging the Grenadian public. Go out there, have fun,
We
with
can't
safety.
let Rotary and John get go yet. We need to talk about the Calypso thing. We need to get a little thing about the Calypso. I mean, I know.
There's some heavy hitters in that thing.
Yeah, Brendan, I mean, I know Soa Serpent is defending his title and so on, but from what you have
Boy,
seen,
up against some real competition.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
well, we
Yeah.
have Soa Serpent.
Yeah.
Let me just run through some of that. Let me tell you, the culture. We have the National Folk Group, we have poetry, we have drummers, we have string band, we have steel band, we have Tamara singing, we have dance unit, we have Back in Time band.
Wow.
We has Zadell, Jeffrey, and Dictator, and the theme is Brighter Out of Darkness.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's why it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
So that's
that
for
is
the cultural
cultural
extravaganza.
Right,
Then we
for
have
that.
Soul Serpent defending his
Right.
crown, and we have
Anthony Darius, Young Song. He was twice Independence Calypso Monarch. Very serious contender. Heard his song, it was really good. Sheldon Douglas.
Going to be there.
Sheldon song real good.
Yeah, a lot of them
Really,
are
really
coming
good.
We were saying,
Yeah.
you remember years ago you would listen to Grenadian Calypso and the Trini, and you can tell it. You'll be able to tell the difference by the time the song comes out. But now the standard is so high. It's sometimes difficult to say
And the
is this from
ones-
Trinidad or is from Grenada.
The one I don't know if your remit to them was to write their songs with the theme in mind.
That's what.
But they seem to have concentrated on that. Because when I listen to Sheldon's, he pays attention to that. Top Cat,
Yes, all of them.
Teddy, Christopher, he pays attention to that. So does Young Sound. You know, the couple I've heard, that's what
right.
they seem to do. But it's really well written. The instrumentation is lively.
The arrangement and everything.
Yeah.
They were rehearsing.
So
I was very
I think
pleased.
it's going to be a good one.
Competition.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very good.
I'm a Soul Serpent fan, so I'm looking forward
yes,
to it.
listen,
Serpent is out to
I
be
hear
played.
Soul Serpent for the yet after Soul Serpent with a song, with a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
But he have competition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
competition.
good.
All of them, they've come to, or they'll be coming to the Independence Monarch with a high level of
Yes.
competition.
Some of our best.
They're not
Yeah.
just coming to
They're
sing
not
something
novices.
for an appearance fee.
Young stunner,
not really.
scholar's
They
son.
won the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really,
They
really
won
good
the
as well.
crown. And I've listened, and I've obviously most of it is on the airwaves now. But I'm very pleased to say the level of the standard is very, very high.
Indeed.
And they have done
That's
justice
good because
to
it means
themselves.
there was no dampening of spirits because of COVID.
No,
From that aspect.
no, and
So
it's,
Only
that's good.
dampening is the
I'm happy
absence
you
of
said
the
that.
public at this
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
I'm happy you said that because in terms of no dampening, there's a high level. The writing is rich. The music is, it's like people have time to really concentrate
There's growth,
on
yeah.
putting in the,
That's right.
I guess COVID has done that.
Yeah.
A
Kind
lot
of
of
reset, a
effort.
pause and reset kind of thing.
That's good for
Yeah,
artists. I think
yeah.
that is
Excellent.
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 You've captured it well there, Brenda, by saying the essence. There's a lot of essence,
Yeah.
even in their rehearsal. And the guys are serious about winning. They don't just.
There's money too, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah, there's thousands of
Right. There's an incentive.
It
There's an
must be
incentive.
incentivized.
There is
Come
an
on.
incentive
Come
for
on.
them.
Well, I mean,
They must be
production
incentivized.
costs money as well.
Production
Yes,
as well.
exactly.
I mean,
they have to
and
put-
trust me, they always come looking so well attired.
Yes.
They get suits designed,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just for themselves, for their backups.
Yeah.
If they
Yes,
have dancers,
yes,
they
yeah,
have
yeah,
props, they have to be compensated.
They can compete with a national soca monarch or
Yeah.
calypso monarch because they come prepared as
I
though
think
they are on stage
anytime
for
our
that.
performers
Yeah.
grace a stage at national events
Yeah.
or whatever, it's always a big event for
Yes,
me
yes.
because our culture that way is so diverse and it's so captivating that it really draws you
Yeah.
in.
You see
Our
the
colours are
excitement.
also
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Yeah, the Rotarian and our colours are also very captivating because I've said it a few times, but if you look at the colours of our national colours,
Yes.
I think it's ranked about 4th
The
or 5th in the world. And,
Yeah,
and I don't want
I mean,
to
not to give any props, but down by me there's a guy that lives by the name of Wagiti, and he from Christmas just changed up his lighting to reflect,
Oh yes.
red, green, and gold, and it
yes.
looks so beautiful on the hill.
Yeah.
That's what the
It's
Rotary-
amazing.
Great job,
Yeah.
Waggy.
Yeah.
Great job.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to support Brenda in a Rotarian there, just to let the Honourable Senator know that the Rotary Club has transformed all of their lights
Yeah.
to
I went,
Quarantine.
I went on
Oh, you
there.
went there? Okay, excellent.
I went
Right.
Saturday.
And you're a supporter.
Yeah,
Without
of course.
Yeah.
saying too much,
It was
you have
Yes.
been
It was
a
beautiful.
So I
regular
took a pass.
supporter of
Yeah.
of the Rotary.
I
And
hope they continue weekend coming.
it's up to the
Yeah,
weekend.
good.
It closes
Up to the weekend.
on Sunday. It's the last day.
Okay.
So we want to encourage persons. The open space, the bubble and everything.
Go on.
Sanitization.
Lovely with the lights.
We have
Yeah.
sanitization. We have.
No, well done, well done.
Yeah,
Well
second to
done.
none.
Yeah.
Well done.
So we encourage you to go spend a little branding as well of
Yeah.
national colours. So we're good
So
to go.
kudos to all the Grenadians and businesses and everyone. Let's feel the spirit. This week, let's just lift ourselves.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Let
Let's
the
go-
red, the
let's go
green,
for it.
and the gold It's not yellow, it's red, green, and gold. We do yellow because gold will normally translate well on
I
like
didn't want to
flags
overdo it.
and
I wore my red.
but the color really. Let the red, green, and the gold lift us all as we elevate to 47.
Definitely.
Red, green, gold.
Byron, Mr. Campbell have some.
Yeah,
Mr. Campbell have earth red in his tie.
Well, I'm Top Cat is in the competition on the weekend. I'm backing Top
Yeah,
Cat.
okay then. No problem.
But
That
I
he
just
sounds really
sounds
good.
good.
Yeah, yes. Are you reassuring me that Monday is a public holiday, right?
Monday is a public holiday. It's
that's
not a
important.
question.
I just want to know that.
Y'all nearly
So
get-
we won't be here Monday.
No, we
That's
won't
the
be
point.
here on Monday.
Excellent.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the
fine,
point.
good.
But Monday
It's not
is
about
a public
independence
holiday
Day.
because I know because of what happened with Carnival. People, but
Yes,
it's a good
ma'am.
point Mr. Campbell raised.
It's a
Because
holiday.
of what
It's a
happened with
holiday.
Carnival, people had some
Yeah,
doubts.
doubts, yeah.
Remember, Carnival is declared, the public holidays of Carnival is declared because of the events surrounding it. Independence is a whole other matter. It
Yeah.
falls on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and naturally, when a public holiday is on a Sunday, the day after is a national holiday. So Monday, the 8th of February is a holiday.
Holiday,
It
yeah.
is.
And you can get the honorable senator in his capacity to make this wonderful proclamation, reminding everyone it's just a holiday. You hear it
You
from the
see,
senator.
you see the senator that jumped me, right?
You see, you
Senator
get
that
it from
jumped
the
me.
senator.
It was the senator that jumped
It is a
me.
holiday. It's a law. It's a law.
But anyway, continue advocacy.
Yeah.
I want you to take it to another level. The agitation now is for financial institutions to package something, design something for those 18 to 25. By the way, the United Nations declared the youth as 18 to 35.
35,
So maybe have a block of people between
Yeah.
29 and that is
Yeah,
what they've
yeah,
experienced.
We'll extend the period.
I am open to that.
Excellent.
And,
That's what they've
Add 10
exited you
years to
for.
that.
I can tell you, there's background discussions already in financial institutions.
Wonderful,
too.
wonderful.
Yeah, let's just call it youth.
Continue.
Yes,
That is going to
Yes,
be.
keep up the good work. Kudos.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm
If,
listening.
if 40, 50, 100 young Grenadians could get their hands immediately on shares in the National Energy Company, that is going to be a huge investment for Grenada.
Yeah, we set
in
a target
many
at
ways.
500 actually.
Yeah, 500 is good, but I like to be realistic.
I am open in this kind of discussions, we can excite them
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah,
and get them there.
yeah. Once
Even
we
though
hear,
some of us parents have to dip in pocket to help. But
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
problem,
That's the point.
no
That's
problem
correct.
with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No
Must be
problem.
this.
Not
Yeah.
enough of us have been brought up, to be investment minded.
Yeah.
You're brought up, you get 14 subjects, you go in the bank and
That's
work,
right.
you build a house, you pay for it till you're dead. So let's just change it. Let's change it.
And
let's,
interesting,
yeah.
COVID, COVID is making young people think about becoming more entrepreneurs than
Yeah.
going and work for somebody. Can you have
Yeah.
no work to go and work for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What can I do for
What can I do for
myself?
myself?
And they
For
can do a
myself.
lot.
It's
Yeah.
So
forcing
let's
them to
push
become
them.
creative and
Yeah.
to become
push
entrepreneurs. And
them.
I think this whole renewable sector is
Yeah.
going to create that excitement.
Yeah.
And what I might suggest in your program, in which I enjoyed the first session, is that see what you can pick up on those who are prepared. I know we're talking about vaccine and availability, but there's a great number of persons out there who are prepared not to take it, So
That's
that might be a
maybe-
discussion.
Our
Maybe
conversations
we
will
talk
pick
about
up
this.
after independence about
Yeah, well,
vaccinations.
right, of course, yes. but
Critical
I'm saying-
point,
I'm just
John.
giving you a
Yeah.
Very
little
important
taste
point.
there.
Excellent
Very
point.
important,
As a matter of
yeah.
fact,
Very
in
important
recent times, if I polled my friends, if I were 10 of them, at least 5 not interested.
That's
Exactly.
correct. About 50%
Yeah.
of persons.
So whether it's going to come,
But there's
so
a lot of skepticism and conspiracy
Yeah, correct,
around
correct.
it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of education. Because when you
Information,
really talk to
yeah.
people that feel not about, why they're not taking it. There's some people that talk to you about their medical situation, but a lot of it has to do with conspiracies
Correct,
and
correct.
what they
That's what it
observe.
is.
It's a matter
Yeah,
of
correct, yeah.
education.
And that's the part that
But
we have to
remember,
see.
nobody's going to be forced to take it. It's up to you.
Yeah,
That's right.
voluntary.
If you want to
thing.
travel somewhere and you find out you need to have it, then that's a choice you make.
But
by
yeah.
and large, it needs to happen for us to engage
That herd immunity,
healthily
yeah.
again. Anyway, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Thank you so very much, Rotarian John Williams. Thank you for your service and everything you do. You've been the chairman of National Celebrations for about
3 years,
3 years
deputy
now.
for free, and this
Okay,
is
you're going to the 50th celebration?
fragility of life. I intend to, but we have a very
Okay.
strong committee, so it's always good for empowering
Yeah.
people to take over succession planning.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I'm looking at that.
Absolutely. Transition is good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yes,
And succession planning is
it's
good
also
as
crucial.
well.
You have to position people just in case.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very good to hear you say that.
You're welcome.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Campbell, he didn't turn up with the fruits, you notice? All right. So,
We make a note.
No comment.
for once, he has no comment.
We make a note.
Senator Daly, have a good week.
Thank you.
All right, you're
And
not
you
back
too?
in the Senate this week, no?
No,
No, yeah,
no,
okay. We're
no.
partying this week, man.
Yeah, this week is relaxing.
Yeah,
This week is all
yeah.
long week.
All done.
All long week.
All done. We encourage everybody, Friday at your workplace, do the most. Do breakfast, do lunch, do the most. Do a lot of work up to Thursday. And then Friday, do the most. Thank you so very much. As you can see, we're in a beautiful new set this morning. And of course, we owe that all to the wonderful team at TNR Communications. Richie Oliver, Blondell George, Curl and Dragon, Nazim Benjamin, and Kirk Oliver. Kirk will take over the empire soon. Parker Richie. Thank you so very much to everyone who broadcast the program this morning. MTV on air, of course, MTV on Facebook, our own Perspectives page. Mikey Live, thank you very, very much. TNR Communications, Party Grenada, and Sister Isle in Carriacou. For everyone here, I'm Brenda Batiste. Have a great, great day. Have a great week, and happy independence.
Calypso fans, the 9 finalists to challenge the reigning independence Calypso monarch Sean Nas, the Sour Serpent, on Friday, February 5th at the National Stadium have been selected. Admission is free from the comfort of your homes. Will Sour Serpents hold on to the reign, or will the crown change heads as Sheldon Douglas, Anthony Darius, Croqueta, Jermaine Simon, Teddy Christopher, Philanda Jeffrey, Alicia Alexis, Edison Francis, and Anthony Etienne, all 5 for the coveted crown. Time alone will tell, so join the National Celebrations Committee in what promises to be an evening of great calypsos. Carried live on GIS Channel 22, the National Celebrations Committee, and GIS Facebook pages and YouTube channels. Remember the dates, Friday, February 5th, 6 p.m. The virtual staging of the 2021 Independence Calypso Mona, building together a safer, more resilient nation in these challenging times.